Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Holly Pritchard, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Lieutenant Colonel David Rosier. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome all members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. Visitors who are able to do so, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant Oscar Eric Bannerman. Oscar Eric Bannerman was born on the 21st of June 1896 in Hardorf, South Australia, to Christian Hertridge Joanne Bannerman and Marie Louise Bannerman. He was their youngest son, one of 9 children. In 1905, the family moved to Eastwood, an inner South Adelaide suburb. Baumann attended the nearby Parkside Public School. He also served as a member of the school senior cadet company, which was attached to the 74th Infantry Regiment. After leaving school, he transferred to the Citizen Military Force, remaining with the 74th Infantry. Baumann became an apprentice joiner with Hackett and Harris in Adelaide, signing on for a 5-year apprenticeship. Outside of work and military service, he was a prominent member of the Kookaburra Tennis Club. When the First World War began, Baumann was still working his apprenticeship, and though underage, he was keen to enlist. On the 19th of July 1915, his parents signed their consent, and 2 days later he enlisted at Keswick Barracks. After some initial training, Baumann was posted as a private to Alpha Company of the newly raised 32 Infantry Battalion in mid-August. That same day he was promoted to Lance Sergeant. Baumann embarked with his battalion from the Outer Harbour, Adelaide, on the 28th of November aboard the transport ship Geelong, bound for Egypt. During the voyage, he was promoted to sergeant. Several months of training in the Egypt desert followed before the 32nd Battalion sailed for France in June 1916. Arriving in France in June, the battalion was sent to Moorbeek in the nursery sector, where troops would learn the rigours of trench warfare. The 32nd Battalion fought its first major action at Fromelles on the 19th of July 1916. They had been in the front line for less than 3 days when their attack was launched. The men of the 32nd advanced from their trenches at 5:53 in the afternoon and briefly gained their objectives in the German lines a little over half an hour later. Baumann was killed in the German trenches during the night, and his body was unable to be recovered by his comrades because what was left of the battalion was forced to retreat by German counterattacks. During the Battle of Fromelles, the 32nd Battalion suffered 718 casualties, which equates to almost 90% of its fighting strength. The Battle of Fromelles became the worst 24 hours in Australian military history, with over 5,500 men killed, wounded and missing. Baumann's body was recovered by German forces and buried in a mass grave at Pheasants Wood. In mid-August 1916, Baumann's identity disc and a German death card were handed to British authorities in Switzerland. It took until December that year for Baumann to be officially declared to have killed in action at Fromelles on the 20th of July 1916. He was 20 years old. Following the war, he was commemorated on the VC corner of the Australian Cemetery Memorial at Fromelles. In 2008, a burial site was located at Pheasants Wood, which contained the bodies of 250 Australian and British soldiers. DNA samples were sought from descendants, and over the years since the discovery, 173 Australian soldiers have been identified to date. On the 24th of April 2023, Baumann's remains were positively identified and his headstone was was rededicated on the 19th of July, 107 years after the battle. His name is listed on the honour roll on my right, amongst the 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant Oscar Eric Baumann, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.